This tutorial shows how to conduct the chi-square test of independence in SPSS and interpret the results. The test is used when you have two categorical variables and want to test them for independence. Ordinal variables work as well, require a larger sample size though, the more values a variable can take on. For example, I have a categorical variable depicting the possession of a driver's license, yes or no, and want to test for independence from the place of living, urban, suburban and countryside. To conduct the test, go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Crosstabs. Put the variables in the row and column box respectively. For me, place of living goes into the row box and driver's license possession into the column box. After that, go to Statistics and select chi-square at the top. Furthermore, go to Cells and check Expected. This will include the expected cell counts under the assumption of independence of the two variables. I would also advise requesting an additional exact test. This can be done through checking the exact option. SPSS will then calculate the exact Fisher test next to the chi-square test of independence. The latter is only an approximation and gives too large deviations to the exact p-value if your cross table shows expected cell counts of less than 5. Hence, we requested the expected cell counts. If you have a rather small sample size, you can request the exact Fisher test by default. Be aware though that it is computationally very demanding and the default 5-minute time limit should be checked. In case of large cross tables, your SPSS might run out of memory or eventually time. Doing the exact calculation in R might be a remedy therefore. Finally, you can also request cluster bar charts to get a visual presentation of cell counts. Now that we've got this out of the way, let's look at the results. The cross table reveals that only 2 people from the countryside have a driver's license. The expected count is 5.6 and well above the actual count of 2. The reverse goes for countryside and no driver's license. 9 is the observed count and 5.4 the expected count, based on the assumption of independence. Eventually, this is a good way to see where differences between observed and expected counts exist. The other cells show only marginal differences of around 2. In the table chi-square tests below, you can see the hypothesis test results. The chi-square test of independence, Pearson chi-square, shows a value of 6.037 with 2 degrees of freedom and an asymptotic significance of 0.049. If the p-value is below a predefined threshold, for example 0.05, the null hypothesis can be rejected. I will briefly elaborate on that a bit later. Reminder, the null hypothesis assumes no difference between observed and expected cell counts. Or put another way, the null hypothesis assumes independence between the two variables. In my case, I defined alpha as 0.05 and can therefore reject the null hypothesis. However, the chi-square test is only an approximation and only larger sample sizes will yield a reliable approximation that is close enough to an exact calculation. Here, the exact results in the line Fisher-Freeman-Halton exact test show a slightly different result. The interpretation, however, is the same. A p-value below the alpha level rejects the null hypothesis of independence. For my example, the exact significance that is also shown in the Pearson chi-square line is 0.053. Don't however fall into the alpha threshold trap. A p-value should not be smaller than a magic number, for instance 0.05. Rather, report the p-values and be thoughtful and consider context and prior evidence. For further reading on that topic, I would strongly advise the linked source in the video description. After a chi-square test of independence, you can calculate the effect size and also do a post hoc test to see which cell of your contingency table shows a large enough difference.